Check. 1, 2, 3.
The D. Brief. This is the D Brief.
Go. Your guide to Detroit.
Your guide to Detroit's
arts and entertainment scene.
This is the D
Brief.
Hello and welcome to the podcast for Detroit artists, by Detroit artists, and entertainers as well. I'm Seth Ressler.
I'm Becky Scarcello.
And here's what we're talking about on today's show. We're going to talk a bit about running an art gallery, something that I know absolutely nothing about. We'll do shout-outs as well. Joining us today is Asia Hamilton. She is a photographer. She is also the founder and director of the Norwest Gallery of Art, and she's on the Entertainment Commission for the City of Detroit over there in District 1. Asia, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, so you clearly know your art. You're a gallerist, a curator.
Yes.
What's your favorite role?
Curator.
Cool.
Director is like a lot of work because you got to do the most. You know, you got to make sure that the gallery is going in the right direction.
And do some of the businessy stuff that might not be as fun.
Stuff, administrative work, stuff like that.
Sure.
All right, we're going to get into all of that.
Yes.
Okay.
Hang tight. We're going to get there in just a moment, but we got some games to play first.
Huh? Oh, snap.
All right, Becky, let's start with some trivia, shall we?
Yeah, so I thought this week, since we have an artist, that I would like to center my trivia around some public works of art that are pretty iconic here in Detroit. So starting with the Spirit of Detroit.
You're going to make it like a test? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's trivia. It's all in good fun. Okay. So the Spirit of Detroit, everybody knows that, you know, right off of Woodward and Jefferson there, the bronze sculpture by Marshall Fredericks from 1958. Okay. What is in each of his hands?
Oh.
What is in each of his hands?
Can you picture it?
Yes, I can.
It's a burger in one and fries in the other, I think.
Oh, man. It's a sun in one, and then the other one is like a man and a woman.
Yes, very good. Very good.
Oh, snap. I got one.
The sphere in the left hand is, emanating rays like the sun. It's meant to symbolize God.
Yes.
And then the people in the right hand is basically like all human relationships. So dead on. And I have a follow-up question to that. Besides sports jerseys, what clothing has the Spirit of Detroit been seen wearing? A kilt, B, a tuxedo, C, a Say Nice Things About Detroit t-shirt, or D, a fur coat?
What, like a Dietrich fur? Is that
gangster?
Hey.
If the Spirit of
With a
Detroit
gold
was
chain.
wearing a fur coat, a mink coat. C.
Is that Say Nice Things About Detroit?
Say Nice Things
I think
About
so
Detroit.
Too. Yes.
You think so?
I think so too.
Wah, wah.
Oh,
What?
A tuxedo.
what?
The three tenors came to town, and apparently he got dressed up in a tuxedo.
That's pretty fancy.
Wonder how he liked the show.
He doesn't get around much. Okay, so Asia, we got to know about this whole gallery thing. Okay, you were gone for a while, moved back to North Rosedale Park where you grew up.
Facts.
And what made you start a gallery, and what goes into that and running the place?
Wow. So much goes into it. What made me start the art gallery moving back is, just wanting a space that, I could, have for the people in the neighborhood. A lot of the work a lot of the new development is just happening downtown in the Midtown area. And I felt that it was necessary for people to have access to very good contemporary art right in the neighborhood. When I was growing up, there wasn't any spaces like that in the neighborhood. I mean, there were, we had the Norwest Theater.
Sure. Yeah.
We had, those types of things, but we didn't have any art. And I think that it wasn't until that I got all the way to my 12th grade year. And I was, of course, exposed to art throughout my life. And as I got older, I realized that could have shaped my journey for sure.
Interesting.
But, it wasn't until, I didn't even know what a curator was until I got to college.
So, confession, I think I know what a curator is, but explain exactly what a curator is doing day in and day. Because you said something earlier, like a curator versus a director. I can't honestly say that I know the difference between those roles?
I would say a curator is like a, like a project manager or the person that puts together the event completely. They are they come up with the concept and they execute it all the way through to the very details of the whatever they're doing. You could curate a music show. You can curate, your living room, I've
done that.
I'm curating the gallery and all of the art and artists that are participating at the gallery.
And then when you say a director, what's involved in that role?
The director is just kind of oversees the whole vision of the gallery. I mean, that means like, all the way from like the calendar to, just the people that work there, the ins and outs of, the finances and all of those things.
So a director could potentially be working with several curators over
Correct.
the course of time.
Yep.
Got it.
Just managing everything.
So
making sure it goes there.
When you sit down and say, I want to open up an art gallery.
Yes. What
is step one in that process?
Man, things happen so organic for me when I started. I'm a curator coming from an artist background. So, when I was in Chicago, I worked at the DeSable Museum as an assistant to the chief curator there. And then I worked in the curatorial department at the Museum of Contemporary Photography. And so, I was just an artist, wanting to be able to show my work. And I wanted to provide a platform for other artists to do that. So when I had the opportunity, I've always been, curating shows or, just creating a platform for, the art that spoke to me, or to convey a message that I'm trying to deliver. That was what I was set out to do, initially. So it just happened organically. It wasn't like I was like, I'm gonna, it was just in my mind that I wanted to have a space to be able to do that. And once that happened, first thing that happened, because that's your question, was finding a location. I was curating coffee shops, I was curating, where else did we do it? At, Artist Village at the time was our very first time.
It's the whole idea of a pop-up with art.
Is that just a matter of going to the coffee shop owner and saying, hey, your walls look bare, can we...
Facts, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Does anybody remember Café de Trois that used to be downtown?
Yes, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got back from, I think I was living in Chicago at that time, and I moved back here. I'm forever coming back home. I love Detroit.
Well, yeah. So you grew up like a few blocks away from where the gallery is now, right?
Yes.
So there's this whole idea of representation in art. If you want to see yourself in art. So did you think that was one of your missions to talk about how that all came to be?
Yeah, I definitely, did I want to see myself in there?
and other people you grew up with there.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to create access because art can be so like snooty and cliquish,
Yeah.
I wanted I wanted people to be able to come to a space and be inspired and feel like that they're a part of something and not so much as being like they're just experiencing it through a glass. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not something that they can
outside
touch.
looking in.
Yeah. A lot of, every exhibit that I do, there's some type of community participation. For HAIRarchy, the exhibit that's up right now, I did a call for photos of people from their, from the 80s and 90s hairstyles.
Oh, boy.
Which was like, when Detroit was at its highest point for hair.
Yeah.
And
literally? Like, I would imagine?
Literally and figuratively,
right.
yeah.
Facts.
I had some pretty large bangs reaching for Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? Yes, I had a waterfall ponytail with a swoop and some buckles. You didn't even know, okay? But yeah, but people were excited. They sent in their photos, and when they saw their photos, like incorporated into the exhibit, it just made them feel like they were a part of it.
Yeah.
So, I want and am creating a space where the community can feel like they're a part of our artistic.
So let's use this as an example, this exhibit, as, and walk us through how it comes about from conception to it's finished and it's ready to open. I mean, where did you start with this? Was it, just the idea came to you, and then what do you do?
Yeah. The majority of my exhibitions come from my personal experiences. My dad owned a beauty salon all my life. That's what he took care of us on. And he passed away in September. And so when that happened, I was like, man, I just felt the need to do something about hair, because hair it's important to me. And it's just a huge part of, our culture as Black people. I mean, just people, period.
Yeah.
It sets the trends. Hair is exactly what, hair is a direct reflection of what you're feeling. If your hair is looking messed up, you might not be feeling so good, But when your hair is fly, you're really out, you're like smiling and shaking and
There's a
doing
reason
the most.
There's a phrase, bad hair day.
Yeah.
Like it's bad
Absolutely,
hair day. Yeah.
absolutely. So, when I thought about that, I was like, I definitely want to do something. And then once you start to think that you're going to like create something, or you want to do an exhibit or something towards that, it's like the universe. Oh no, here we go. The universe just kind of folds to that. And then I started seeing all of this like controversy in the news. Like, Ayanna Pressley, she like her hair fell out from alopecia from wearing so much weave and stuff in her hair for over the years. And so she just got tired of wearing wigs and decided to go bald. Then we had the young man, I'm not sure of his name, but they wouldn't let him graduate because he had locks.
Oh, yes.
And Ellen ended up giving him like $20,000 because he refused to cut his locks. What does me wearing locks have to do with me graduating, with my education, with my accomplishment? And I had locks for 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I had locks for 20 years. And when I cut them off, I think my hair has been like 10,000 different hairstyles just in the last year. So I've had like so many styles, but I'm excited to explore all these different sides of myself. So all of that kind of poured into the exhibit, and I just started looking for artists, and if I saw something, I'm like, it could have been an artist that didn't do anything with hair, and I'd say, hey, I'm interested to see what's your Black hair experience. Let me hear that. Let me see what your experience is. Again, this exhibit is for Black History Month, so people are talking about their experience, in Black hair.
Yeah, and are all the artists Black themselves?
Yes.
And so what mediums? There's photography, painting.
Photography, painting. We have soft sculpture. We have, what else is in there? There's actual hair,
Yeah.
Yeah. So, mixed media pieces.
Yeah.
We have a hair not sculpture, but installation. It's called the Black Cloud, which speaks to, just how our hair is frowned upon, our natural state of our hair is frowned upon.
And how much work people do to get it a different way.
Yes, absolutely.
All the relaxing and the ironing. And,
all of that. There is also an installation of, a bunch of art tools from the hair salon, like straightening combs and press, like the curlers and all of the equipment. So it's a mixed media exhibition. It's a lot of different things in there.
And what do you hope people that come to see the exhibit will walk away from? What would you like them to feel and gain from the experience of seeing all this work?
I want them to be able to see the versatility in Black hair. We have fought. We're still fighting, apparently, to be accepted with our natural state of our hair.
Yeah.
People are going natural, and they are not wearing any more perms, and they are very serious about about just allowing their hair to just be natural. But at the same time, there's still a whole culture of, the straight hair and the baby hair and, all of these other different types of hairstyles.
Yeah,
so
expression.
It's a celebration across the board of the different, the versatility in our hair. So
Love it.
I want to ask a little bit about this animated short that just won an Oscar,
yeah.
which I saw at the DIA and was amazing because they showed all the animated shorts and they were all fantastic.
Wow.
But this one called Hair Love was absolutely amazing, and it's got a tie to the exhibit, right? Just in terms of the theme and everything that's going on.
Yeah. Absolutely. I haven't seen it yet. It's not necessarily a tie to the exhibit, but it's definitely an example of yet another, representation of how we perceive our hair experience.
It's an animated short in which there's a little girl and her father comes in and, for whatever reason, her mother's not around and the father has to style her hair. And he has no idea
what to do.
Yeah. And he's like looking up online and he's trying to figure out. And and it's absolutely fantastic. And it's a children's book as well. And, but what was amazing for me watching that it was a small thing. And I don't know why I didn't think about it. But when I saw that the father didn't know what to do with the little girl's hair, the thought that went through my mind was, oh, black guys don't know what to do with a little girl's hair either. You know what I mean?
Skills.
And then I thought about it and I was like, well, yeah, I don't know what to do with a little white girl's hair either. So like it's a gender thing almost as well.
Yeah, it's absolutely a gender thing. Yeah.
Sure.
Guys aren't like doing their hair unless they have long hair.
No.
Right.
Right. They're
Just
like cutting it up. Right. Yeah.
Right. So, very cool.
Well, aren't the
Facts.
spaces where hair gets done too? I mean, that's a whole huge culture thing. It's like when you go to get your hair done and who you're talking to and what you're talking about. And it's like the centers of the community too.
That's like shop culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So many, hair salons and, the salon gossip and, it's really just a matter of your preference and where you like to go. So, I go to, can I get a shout out right now?
Oh, wait. Hold that thought.
Yes. He forgets which.
Hey guys, let's do shout outs.
Yeah.
See, we get all excited and then Seth gets upset like that wasn't time yet.
Yes, right. You gotta hit your marks. Becky, let's start with you. What do you got for shout outs?
Okay, so I had the pleasure of joining a friend for a milestone birthday, and we went to Republic Tavern with, I think there was about 10 of us, and it happened to be the same night that it was Republic's 5-year anniversary. And so I just wanted to shout out Republic for just running a great, cozy, festive place. Fantastic service. We had the chef's tasting that was so delicious. And the whole clientele that got into it was wishing my friend happy birthday. And it just, especially I feel in the winter there, it was like a snow globe outside. It was snowing. And I just love the atmosphere and the flavors there. So yay, Republic.
Yes.
Asia.
That's what's up.
Let's do your shout out. Who do you want to give a shout out to?
I want to give a shout out to my hairdresser, Nicole Grant. She is so fabulous. She does everything from natural hair to, straightening your hair to hair weaves to colorist. She is
she can do it
freaking
all.
Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, she makes me look really good. I appreciate it.
You do look amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And I've seen your pictures online. You had pink hair recently, right?
Yes.
That was fantastic.
I had to do something different for the HAIRarchy exhibit.
That was super
for
cool.
Sure. But yeah, shouts out to her. She's at Directions Hair Salon. They've been along for a long time. So
And where's that?
it's on Grand River, like right, in the Cass corridor area.
Cool.
I want to give a shout out to the Motown Music Accelerator program. This is something that's now going into its second year. You and I went and we saw the finals.
Showcase.
Yeah, the showcase. So what it is it's you've heard of like a business incubator program where people have a great idea and they throw you into this program and you're there for 12 weeks and they sign all the legal documents and hook you up with an accountant and take care of all the nuts and bolts so that you can just focus on your business idea and developing that. Nice. Well, this is the same thing only applied to musicians, whether it's bands or singers or whatnot. It is a 12-week program for musical artists, and if you're one of the finalists chosen, you get a $20,000 budget to advance your career.
That's dope.
And access to a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, because it's run with
Capitol Records,
Motown Records, the Motown Museum. Accelerator is the program that kind of puts it all together. The program's happening this fall, but the deadline is the last day of February. So if you are in a band or you're a musician or musical artist of any kind from Detroit, go to MotownMusicAccelerator.com and go check it out. Asia, we're excited because you're going to be hanging out with us all week.
Yes, I'm feeling good. You know, it's always been my dream to be like on the radio. So this is like, I'm living my dream right now.
I love it. Well, clearly we have a lot more to talk about.
That's what we do. We grant wishes. Let's plug the gallery. The gallery is the Norwest Gallery, and the exhibit going on right now is the HAIRarchy exhibit.
Yes.
The address is 19556 Grand River.
Yes.
And the exhibit's there all month, right?
Yep. It'll be done on February the 29th. Yep.
Perfect. Also want to let people know that we have a mobile app for this podcast. Go download it. It's just the debrief in your app store. And we've been closing out all of our episodes with a song. Becky, what do you got for us today?
Yeah, so I have a song called Home by Olli today. They're an indie folk band fronted by a young guy named Christian Olli. The song is about life as a teenager in a big family and kind of like coming of age and parting with friends from your past. And his brothers are musical as well, so he kind of grew up with this. And if you like the Abbott Brothers, Head in the Heart, I think you'll dig it. So this is called Home.
Cool. We'll check it out. Until tomorrow, Detroit's moving.
Keep up.
From the motel room, she made the call. Her hands were shaking and her voice was low on the other end. She heard him say, "Please come home, I won't hurt you again." Instead she kept driving off the other way, through a darkened night and a twisting hurricane. And when the morning light broke in at dawn, the clouds had lifted, she was far from home. And where are you now? Are you lost at the wheel? And what you need now is a place that you can find some comfort. And tired and weak, she pulled off the road, stopped at a diner to have coffee and a smoke, and the waitress gave her a light, refilled her coffee, left a piece of advice. Oh yes, I know you, I've seen you before. You're just like me, you're still staring at that door. But I said, don't look back, don't get turned around. Don't stop driving till you found what you're looking for. And where are you now? Are you lost at the wheel? And what you need now is a place that you can find some comfort. Back behind the wheel, she's listening to howling wolf. Road stretches out like a river, cutting through the mud. And all the places you lost or you left behind, they all come back to you on this borrowed time. But just keep driving into the earth and sky. While the rear view disappears from behind, and all the things that brought you here, and all the things you've done, you know exactly why it is that you call. And where are you now? You're not lost at the wheel. 'Cause what you have found is a place that you can find some comfort.
The D Brief.
Your guide to Detroit's arts and entertainment scene.